Welcome to Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy here at the Detroit Lakes Police Station with Police Chief Tim Eggerotten, and we're here to talk about some of the new faces on the force these days.
Yeah, we have a bunch. Since January of 2013, we've hired 5 new officers, so we only have 14 total to begin with, and so 5 new faces. So if you're out there and you're seeing some of these new guys, we just wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of meet some of them and get to know a little bit about our department and how this happened that we have 5 new officers.
All right. Chief, explain a little bit about the process of hiring a new officer. I mean, it's just, you don't just, well, obviously you post the position, but there is a process to it.
Right. We're what's known as a civil service agency. And so our Police Civil Service Commission, which right now is made up of David Karsnia, Delray Chivers, and Jeff Swanson, they kind of plan the hiring process, the testing, when we're going to do it and that kind of stuff. So our lists, our eligibility list is good for 2 years. And so when the list is expired or there's nobody else on the list, we go out and we notify everybody that we're doing some new testing. And we do a written test. There's oral interviews. There's a process that's in place. And basically the Civil Service Commission then makes their recommendation to me of the top 3, and we just pick the top one off that list, and we do background investigations of those top 3. So it's quite an in-depth process that we have in place, and the 5 that we've hired in the last couple of years have been working out very well for us. So we're excited. It's kind of a new, you see turnover and change isn't always a bad thing, and we're excited to see some new blood coming in. It kind of reinvigorates the older ones that are here, and so it's a good process.
All right. And once the officers are hired, they go through another sort of training, kind of get to familiarize themselves with the area. Right.
We have a field training program, which is typically 10 weeks long. If they come to us with some previous law enforcement experience, we can whittle that down to 6 weeks, and we can go all the way up to 14 weeks if there's some areas that we need to work on. And the purpose of that process is to kind of acclimate them to the system and to the way we do things, and and look out if there's any issues that we need to deal with. We can deal with them early on in the field training program.
All right, very good. I'm here today at the Detroit Lakes Police Department. We're going to meet a couple of the new officers coming up on Hometown Happenings. And before we get to that, Chief, just a couple of other things. I noticed you have a little growth on your face.
The blonde? Can you? Yeah, it's hunting season. We're getting into that hunting season, so we've allowed the officers to grow some facial hair, and we have a 5-week window of opportunity. We're about 2.5 weeks into it right now. And so the condition is that they donate $20 to the Minnesota Special Olympics. And so 11 out of the 14 of us have donated, so that's $220 that will go to the Special Olympics of Minnesota. And kind of a fun way to do it. This is the first time in my life that I've ever had this much blonde facial hair. And so it's kind of a unique thing, and you'll meet 2 of our scruffy young guys that really bring it.
All right. Also, I wanted to ask you about now you're having a Citizens Academy. You're starting that up in December, and have you filled that yet?
We actually start next week, November 3rd.
Oh, November.
Yep, and then it goes through December 15th. I think we have 11 in there right now. We're capping it at 16, and so we still have room for 5 more. I've gotten a couple emails of people that have said that they're interested in it, and they'll be sending the applications. So we have 11 filled right now, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's a 7-week program that will be giving people a real in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at our hiring process, what we do when we're police officers, and kind of the decision-making process, how we make decisions on the street and that kind of stuff. So it should be fun.
Very good. All right, I'm here at the Detroit Lakes Police Department, and we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll meet a couple of the new officers next on Hometown Happenings. Welcome back to Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy here at Detroit Lakes Police Department. I'm talking to a couple of the new officers. Police Chief Tim Eggerotten said they hired 5 new officers in the last 6 years. And here today with me is Philip Vaughan. And welcome to Hometown Happenings.
Thank you.
Now, you started in 2013.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your background and yourself.
Born and raised in New York Mills, and then started with Perm Police Department in 2009, and then also worked part-time for the Wadena Police Department, and then got hired here in January 2013.
Okay, and you are obviously familiar with the Lakes area. So what were some of the things that you really had to train for coming in? Obviously, get to know Detroit Lakes area.
Well, I was born and raised in New York Mills, so I'd always come to Detroit Lakes and stuff. So just the geography. I mean, geography was big, and other stuff that's just different around here, faces, stuff like that. So,
okay. Well, why did you get into law enforcement?
My grandfather was in law enforcement, and I went and did school of work with Brian Nelson and the officers in New York Mills, and liked it, and still like it. So,
okay. So now you have worked a couple different shifts here in the Detroit Lakes
Yes.
Police Department, and you're currently on the night shift.
yes, I'm on the night shift, so I start 10 p.m. And kind of worked. I think I've worked just about every shift. So, but yeah, I'm on nights. So.
Okay. And I know the chief likes to rotate the officers in different positions. And ever have any interest in being a school liaison officer?
I did when I worked part-time for Wadena. I did a little bit in the college when they had the high school in there, the high school kids. So I've done it a little bit, and probably eventually.
Okay. All right. Philip Vaughan is one of the new police officers here in Detroit Lakes, getting to know some of the new faces here on the police force, and we'll be back with Ben Bruce after this. Welcome back to Hometown Happenings at Detroit Lakes Police Department today, talking with a couple of the new police officers that Detroit Lakes Police Chief Eggerbrotten has hired in the last 6 years. And I'm here right now with Ben Bruce. And Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm not originally from the area. I grew up near the Twin Cities in Cambridge, Minnesota. Kind of similar to the geography up to here with lakes and cornfields and all that kind of good stuff. But came up here, came north to work in Lake Park for a couple of years, and luck had it, I got hired here. So.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about your background. You said you worked in Lake Park a little bit. Did you go to school in Alex, or where did you get your training?
Actually, I got my bachelor's degree down at Winona State, and then I went up to Alex Tech for a 10-week program where you learn all the skills of being a police officer. And after that, I got hired by Lake Park in 2012, and like I said, I enjoyed my time there, and I really got to know this area and a lot of the guys. And Detroit Lakes had an opening, and I decided to apply. And like I said, fortunately, I got on. So
excellent. So why did you get into law enforcement?
Honestly, that's a really great question. I didn't have any family in it. I don't have any relatives. I went for a ride along one day in high school, and I got caught on, and I loved it. It was me. Just being able to interact with people and be able to help out, and it's a blessing to actually be a police officer in my eyes. So.
All right, very cool. Well, welcome to Detroit Lakes.
Well, thank you. Love it here. So.
All right, and we look forward to seeing you around the town, and you're obviously the day shift here.
I am on technically the day shift, but being one of the younger guys, I get flip-flopped around quite a bit, so it's kind of fun.
Okay. All right. Ben Bruce, one of the new police officers here in Detroit Lakes, and that is Hometown Happenings. For TV3, I'm Carol McCarthy.